Time can be defined in mathematics as an ongoing and continuous sequence of events that occur in succession, from the past, the present, to the future. Time is used to quantify, measure, or compare the length of events of the intervals between them, as well as the sequence events as defined by Splashnet. Do you have any idea what it is? It is the first scientifically designed game-based curriculum that spans pre-kindergarten through grade 5, just stating the source there. Time usage is irreplaceable. No matter how much we can turn back time, we can. You want to eradicate a mistake in the past? You can. Feel like reliving a moment recently? Unfortunately, you can't either. Want to fast forward to the future to check how you're doing after 5 years, 10 years, and so on? Let me tell you, you can. I can't either. We all can. Assuming time machines don't exist yet, of course. We can't control time, but we can control what we do with it, how we use it. Time is strongly correlated with investment. What you use your time with is what you're investing on. For instance, you make use of an hour every day to practicing the guitar. With that being done consistently, this will build up your skills and eventually result in you getting better doing it, maybe even mastering it. What you acquired, what you put in or deposited that has increased is the result or return. The return you gain varies on what you invest. Another one would be investing your time on scrolling through social media, and that's quite broad. But let's say you focus on the side of social media where it is full of fake news regarding such issues you're interested in. What do you think will you acquire after doing that for an hour every day? Possible returns are you could get prone to believing unreliable sources easily, which could lead to worst case scenarios such as relaying false information to your family, friends, partner, etc. And another one could lead you to thinking every information you consume is false. In simple terms, if you invest negative things with your time, they'll come back negatively, and it goes the same way as positive ones. Why am I saying this? How is this related to my main topic? See, think of time as our resources. Time is strongly correlated with investment, right? In this case, resources is strongly correlated with how we use them, how we dispose them, and how much we use them. It all depends on us, what we do with these resources. And what we do with our resources, we can't change it back once the decision has been made, just like how we can turn back time. Now, relating the previous examples that is between time and investment, I'll be giving examples that is regarding our topic between resources and how we deal with them. Let's say in the morning you wash your dishes, right? Every time it is not in use, no matter how long it is not used, you keep it turned off. Again, you keep it turned off. Now that's a positive one. How so? What will it return to you? What will you gain? Simple. Conserve water. And it can affect the people around you, your environment, you name it. The water you conserve may be provided for someone else. It's like a domino effect. It may not be just a gain for you, but for someone else too. Think about that. Let's have a negative one. Let's use the same scenario, but this time, you leave the faucet on even when it is not in use. This time, you leave the faucet on even when it is not in use. What happens? What do you gain? What is your return from that investment? The result? The opposite of conserving water, and again, it affects the people around you, your environment, etc. It could have been provided for someone else or for something else, but it was lost and not even used properly. In Tagalog, sinayang mo. In English, you wasted it. In Korean, it's tamshige mong gawin ng bihata. It all results to the point that you wasted it, regardless of the language used and the possible actions you may want to do to get it back. Now, how can you deal with that? How can you confidently say that you were able to conserve water and maximize your usage? Again, your action here is the investment, and your resources here is the time that can't be retrieved or changed back to how it was. If I were in your position, I would ask, why is the speaker even talking about this? How is this relevant to today's issues, or simply to me, the people around me, regardless of our demographic background. What are energy, water, and soil resources? What is the ongoing problem that has something to do with these resources that needs us to take part in? How are our actions related to this? Why is it important? Lastly, how can we resolve this? Before I continue, I would like to greet everyone. I hope all is well. I'm Keona, a grade 11 student from Apex Schools, and would like to talk about conserving and protecting energy, water, and soil resources. Let us ponder on these questions and solve them together. Why? Because teamwork makes the dream work. As said by John C. Maxwell, for those who don't know, he is an American author, speaker, and pastor who has written many books, primarily focusing on leadership. The dream we want to work on? A safer and healthier environment for future generations. Plus, try asking yourself, if we don't step up our game now, then who will? With those being said, let us now begin circling around the questions asked earlier regarding the topic. To begin, let us learn more about the main topic, which is energy, water, and soil resources. In general, a resource is a physical material that humans require and value, such as land, air, and water. Renewable. A renewable resource can plunge itself at the rate at which it is consumed, while a non-renewable resource has a limited supply. So the three resources will be discussed. First and foremost, we have energy resources, which is the one on the left side. An energy resource is defined as something that can generate heat, power life, move objects, or generate electricity. Oil, coal, wind, and solar are all examples of this. Next, the one in the middle, we have water resources, which are natural water resources that are useful to humans, such as a source of drinking water or irrigation water. Finally, we have soil resources, which are a complex mixture of eroded rock minerals, ions, partially decomposed organic material, water, air, and other elements. Most of these resources come from natural resources, which is from Earth. In the Philippines, the water resources are inland fresh water, rivers, lakes, and groundwater, and marine water resources, bay, coastal, and oceanic waters. The energy sources utilized by communities in our country are coal, which is 30.2%. We have natural gas, 6%, and renewable energy, which is 35.5%, and oil-based, which is around 28.3%. As for the last one, which is soil resources, it obviously comes from land. Next, how are these resources derived? Well, they are derived in different ways. There are unhealthy ones and healthy ways. An example of an unhealthy one is burning fossil fuels to produce electricity and to power engines. This causes air pollution, water pollution, and stimulates climate change. While a healthy one, we have watershed management. It is the process of implementing land use practices and water management practices to protect and improve the quality of the water and other natural resources within a watershed. This will be tackled more later. The final part of the introduction to these resources is understanding what they are used for. Energy resources are used in a variety of sectors, including residential, commercial, transportation, and industrial, which is mostly used for electricity. Agriculture, industry, domestic, recreational, and environmental activities all rely on water resources. Majority of the uses needs fresh water. Last but not least, soil resources are mostly used for land use, such as acting as the structural support for buildings, agriculture, and gardening. To sum it up, they are supplies needed in our daily lives, and they may be derived in a positive or negative way. What is the ongoing issue related to these resources that requires our attention? Air pollution, climate change, water pollution, thermal pollution, and solid waste disposal are all issues associated with the use of these energy resources. It causes complications because of its toxicity and impact on the ecosystem. Waste contains chemicals as a result of how it was used, its components, and how it was disposed of, making it hazardous to both people and the environment. These are threats to everyone and everything because they can cause climate change and pollution. But why does it happen? It is due to the actions we make that mismanages um, the usage of these resources, which mainly are the way it was used, how it was disposed, and how much was used. What do I mean by the way we use resources? Let's go back to the faucet scenario. The way you use it may differ. As mentioned before, you could be leaving the faucet open whether you're using it or not. Another one could be how much you open the faucet. Second, how was it disposed? Using the same scenario again, how we dispose to used water may differ. The usual is just letting it flow through the sink stopper and through the drain, right? A different one may be using the water with clean soap to be thrown to the toilet for flushing. Both has different outcomes. The latter helps in conserving water. Finally, how much was used? This is closely related to how we use resources. An easy example would be how much water you use for a certain task. Phase 3 goes down to the two main negative effects of mismanagement regarding the usage of these resources, which are affected quality and lessened availability of the resources. The effects are determined by the three actions mentioned earlier. If we perform the three actions incorrectly, the previously mentioned negative effects of which are reduced quality and decreased availability of resources will occur. How so? Let us have water economic activities, particularly for urban and industrial development, such as fishing, farming, mining, manufacturing, innovation, research and development of new products and services, which contribute to changes in the quality and availability of water for human consumption. It degrades the quality and reduces the availability of water, which is dependent on how it was used, disposed of, and how much was used. Let us take a specific viewpoint on this. As an example, consider mining. So what impact does it have on water resources? The heavy metal mine water seeps into the groundwater via surface seepage, altering the pH of the water body, affecting its ability to self-purity, and causing serious pollution damage to the surrounding rivers and farmland. This can also have an impact on other resources such as soil, which deteriorates as a result of erosion, which is a gradual process that occurs when the impact of water or wind detaches and removes soil particles. As a result, the way it was used, how it was disposed of, and how much we used all have an impact on the quality and availability of these resources. We use these resources in our daily lives as seen on the presentation, such as cooking, gardening, taking a shower, etc. And we need them because without them, we won't be able to live the way we are right now, and maybe not even live at all, especially in regards to water resources. So keeping that in mind, we have already stated the problem. Now, what is our solution? What is the title of this video again? That is our solution. We must conserve and protect these resources. The ways we can conserve the water resources for future generations are numerous and may be small, especially if done individually, but all small acts count. Some examples for water resources are using and disposing of harmful materials in a proper way, not throwing trash in lakes and rivers or any water resources, and doing volunteer work in cleaning water resources. As for soil resources, disposing and using materials properly like plastic waste, not using harmful materials such as pesticides and fertilizers. For energy resources, separating your waste, learning to repair rather than discard items, reusing and recycling, not purchasing single-use batteries, composting, not purchasing plastic water bottles are all examples of waste reduction. Let us use the internet to find ways to help, no matter how small or large the contribution. Let us raise awareness. This problem has been happening for a long time now, and it will only worsen if we do nothing. Keep in mind that it's better to start small than not at all. Our questions from earlier are now answered. We have one last question. Will you be brave and responsible enough to take action? Only you can answer that question. The references are in this document file. Media used are not mine. Credits to the owner. Credits to Canva for the template used for the presentation. That's all. Thank you for listening.